This podcast was brought to you by Meros cryptocurrency. Meros is a cryptocurrency payment system that does what cryptocurrency originally intended to do. Be a practical and secure form of direct payment, Meros utilizes the best of current technology in a powerful new way. It introduces a groundbreaking consensus mechanism called merit caching. This enables Meros to be both feeless and instant while maintaining the same level of integrity of traditional networks like Bitcoin. To find out how you can participate in the future of crypto payments, go to meroscrypto.io now.
Hello and welcome to the October update of State of the Project PIVX, and this is a monthly podcast that is all about the goings on within the PIVX project. So we speak about things from development to community to support to ambassadors, and we've had a real mix of guests. So this month I'm delighted to introduce our support team head of support, Jeffrey, and our I'll tell you what, I'll say his name is ONeZetty, and I'll let him give you his official title. So first of all, I'll start off with you, Jeffrey. How are you? It's great to have you on.
Hey, Cryptosi. No, it's definitely an honor to be on with you guys. I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Yeah. I'm great. It's good to finally get these podcasts back after a long hiatus. So hopefully we'll be back to running these monthly again. And what better way to start than with yourself and with ONeZetty. ONeZetty, how are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm very fine. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so Jeffrey, I'm going to start with you. Could you please tell us what your role is within PIVX?
It's quite a lengthy one. So actually, I've been with PIVX since the rebrand, about 2 months after the rebrand. And so my role, it actually started off as support. And along the lines, I've been pretty dedicated to that. And we've extended that I'm now the lead of support. But other than that, I'm also the ambassador for South Africa for PIVX. But I also like to call myself a global ambassador because I work with merchants all over the world to get accepted, list PIVX stuff. And then other than that, if you don't find me manning the support holes and stuff like that, I mostly do all the sysadmin. So I run all the PIVX servers. I make sure everything's working on the back end, and also do some coordination and beta testing with the devs. It's pretty much an all PIVX oriented person.
Awesome. So you're the head of the support team. How did the support team come about? How long have you worked for the support team, and who else do you work with?
Okay, so support team actually started about 3 months after the rebrand. Well, officially with a proposal. So actually what happened was when I joined, I obviously knew quite a bit about cryptos and blockchains, things like that. And I noticed that the support team back then on the Slack channel were quite buzzed, as in there were so many different people going back and forth requesting stuff. And I thought, let me just start answering some questions, give some of my knowledge. And I still remember back then it was Slim Jim and Series and all those guys. And they actually spoke to me and they said, hey, you know what, why not come and join officially under our proposal as a support team member? So that was like 2 years back, basically at 2017, I'd say March, April, maybe. And since then I've been working alongside them. We've had various faces with us, Series, Slim Jim, Crypto Pharaoh. But yeah, basically with the support right now, it's just me leading it, but you'll find a lot of the developers and community members, Eric, ONeZetty, Rhubarb, and even yourself. Sometimes I see just pop in and answer questions. So it is majorly also a community effort. And then there's always me just always liaising and providing the latest information so that the community understands. That's pretty much how support is run now. But we use a lot of resources too, on various social medias. We got our Fresh Desk, which people can spend tickets. And then, I would say support number one is definitely through Discord. It's nice to have a one-on-one. And just to anyone listening to this, if you ever need support, please only use the support channels and never accept DMs from anyone. And everything in support is done publicly and transparently on the support channel itself.
Interesting. So, what is the reason that you advise people not to accept support via direct messages?
Yeah. So the issue with the direct message thing is, with Discord, and that the moment you leave a server, so you use your direct message, you can't identify that person as being the real Jeffrey or the real Cryptosi. You might just see the name and the picture and like, oh, well, this is the guy I know. And unfortunately, it's been a gateway for many scammers to try, steal funds. And we've seen quite a few in various communities, even from the previous Slack. So it's of the grave importance that we've actually set a rule that we as support and as PIVX team will never go ahead and DM anyone. So we always tell people, speak in the public channels. That way, it's to prevent scammers. So if someone ever messaged you as me, it's not me, because I don't ever DM first. So yeah, it's just a major warning to prevent any security losses and things like that.
Awesome. So as far as support goes, is there any one particular standout query that PIVX users have? What is the most asked for support within PIVX?
Actually, at this stage, because PIVX has been around for 2 years, the blockchain size has grown drastically. So just like with Bitcoin, you might have experienced yourself, like the wallet takes quite some time to sync. So the number one thing is people are always looking for a way to, speed this process up. And so what we've done is we've introduced the snapshots, which is basically a dev-made blockchain snapshot that the users can use. So basically, we just provide instructions to them how to use it. And because of that issue, there's actually growing some solutions which you've worked on, Zephyr, which I'm sure you'll be mentioning, as well as the new wallet EOBIT, so light wallets to prevent people, from waiting for blockchain syncs. But that's the major issue we always deal with. And then in the past, it was Zerocoin, how to spend it, how to mint it, and stuff like that. But right now, people are just looking for ease of access, how to use the wallet, how to stake, how to run a masternode, and then also, just to speed up the blockchain sync.
Yeah, you said that you've got experience with other communities. How would you rank PIVX users in terms of their knowledge of crypto, as opposed to other communities? Do you find that PIVX users tend to be a little bit more experienced with crypto or a little bit less experienced?
So it's actually quite a strange question, because with many of the communities, you'll find that people that generally know a lot, they don't tend to hang around. They always doing their own thing. And the people who need to learn the most are usually hiding in the Discord, chatting and stuff like that. But I have noticed with the PIVX people, especially with the resources we always provide out, there's a lot of knowledge constantly provided people that people who have once helped in the past are now helping people. So I would say with the experiences we've gone through and the growth that all of our users have seen and been through, they're quite knowledgeable. A lot of people are able to provide some questions and even answers to help other people. In other communities as well, you see, the issue with new people coming to crypto is most people just want to use it straightforward. And my biggest advice is, before it's like buying a new phone. Before you do it, you can do the research. How to use Android, how to use iOS. You know the background. With crypto, a lot of people jump straight in, hit on Binance or whatever it is, and buy the coin. Then they're like, oh, shucks, where to from now? So yeah, you bump into a lot of people who don't know much, and they're the ones who usually hang around Discord and learn. But it's great. I've seen a lot of people who are very knowledgeable within our Discord, especially, that answer some questions and help people around. So yeah, I'd say that people in PIVX do have an upper hand with all the experiences they've been through.
Awesome. Do you have anything in particular planned to increase the amount of support that Pivians get from the support team?
Yeah, so the most important thing right now is we're thinking of ways to streamline it, make it simpler. So as you can see, if you go into our support channel, you'll notice that many of the replies will be like full stop snapshot. And that pretty much provides in-depth websites and links and resources that users can view that has steps from A to Z. So this prevents us from constantly writing down the solution over and over and over. But instead, so pretty much anyone could take part in support. You're like, oh, how to get the snapshot. So we're focusing on ways just to make it easier, more streamlined, and then resources to be commonly found. I'm also going to be taking over the Reddit channel and posting some support documentation there, as well as making videos. We're working with Chocolate Block and a few other people to make some videos, because some people prefer the visual stuff. So I think the most important thing when it comes to support now is just making it as easy as possible.
I think speaking about videos, it brings me on to something which I had forgotten whilst I was doing my research for this podcast, but there was an announcement recently that you are the new face of PIVX Press. Could you tell us a little bit about how that came about and what sorts of things you've got planned for that particular video series?
Yeah, that's quite a shocker. I'm kidding. It does rattle my nerves quite a bit. So yeah, actually, I've done a few videos in the past. If you remember, when I got the South African merchants to accept PIVX,
yep.
And they got the hair salon and all that. So I've had a bit of experience with that. And then from doing that, Rhubarb, who's in charge of our marketing, he's reached out to me a few times and he's like, hey, this stuff's actually great. The viewers like it. And not only that, I've been watching Snappy's videos for so long, and I really appreciate everything he's done for PIVX. I mean, a huge warrior for what we stand for, and just really getting the information out there. I feel that maybe I can start doing some more videos and getting more in depth and showing people of PIVX, different face. And so Rhubarb was like, hey, let's put you up there. Let's throw you right in the deep end. So over the week, I've been acquiring all my new equipment because I need some lav mics and all this just to make it perfect. I've actually moved to a new city in South Africa as well. So I'm in Cape Town right now. So I left a lot of my previous stuff there. But so I'll be taking parts, well, let's say leading the new videos as the PIVX press. Also, I have some plans to do some PIVX Did You Knows, a few more things that are in talk right now. So I don't want to expose all of that yet. But just basically the latest news and some insider information as well, some with the devs, just giving people some hints to show what you're really up to, other than people always going through the GitHub.
Yeah. So does this mean that Brian Snappy has left PIVX?
No, Brian is still well active within the community, but the guy's on his second baby now and taking time to really be in his child's life and all that type of stuff. So we don't want to keep him crowded with all of our requests. Hey, Brian, do this. So it's good to give him some time and put me in the spotlight for a bit. But yeah, he is still very well a part of our community, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does do some more videos every now and then. But he's actually going to send me some pointers, some information from his side with stuff that he's done in the videos. But my stuff's going to be a bit more different. I'm going to add it a bit more formal and then informal. It's going to be a bit of a surprise. I've got some people that will actually be joining my videos too, just to add a bit of a mix.
Okay. Well, I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. So you said that you've recently moved and you're based in South Africa. Out of curiosity, really, what is the current climate towards crypto within South Africa from an actual person who lives there?
So in terms of online merchants, we have a very large base of, let's just say, like South Africa's version of Amazon. There's Bid or Buy and Take a Lot. They actually both used to accept Bitcoin. However, due to an issue with one of these centralized payment gateways, they could no longer process Bitcoin payments. But still, the major, let's say, online retailer, Bid or Buy, and some of that, they all very frequently accept Bitcoin. In fact, I constantly use it in that. You also find a lot of merchants here accept Bitcoin. And funny enough, there was an article that came out. I think South Africa is rated within the top 5 of cryptocurrency owners and users around the world. And another story is actually just recently, I think 5 or 6 days ago, I actually attended a Binance meetup, the first year in South Africa. And they confirmed that a Binance South African exchange is going to be opening up here because of the growth in this continent and the country as well. So I'd say South Africa has a huge future for crypto. We've seen a lot of developers here. Vitalik Buterin came and he visited here last year, I think it was. Fluffy Pony from Monero, he resides here in Plettenberg in South Africa. So, and there's a huge blockchain developer basis throughout Cape Town and Johannesburg, our 2 capitals in South Africa. And a lot of merchants are using it. But another thing as well is people who have families in other African regions or even overseas in Europe and the Americas, they're all using it as a means of, let's say, an alternative to remit, as in transporting money overseas because of the massive fees and the delays and the technological restrictions that those methods have. Whereas crypto is far more advanced, cheaper, and fast. So South Africa, I think it's an absolute hub. And so far, all of the regulation supports us. The tax inputs all public. There's ATMs, there's OTCs, there's merchants. So I think it's absolutely growing quite a lot here.
Amazing. I wasn't actually aware, but when you say about one of the top online retailers taking crypto, or 2 of them, in fact, that is very, very far ahead of where we are, well, for me in the UK. And I guess this is the perfect time to start speaking about our brother in South America, ONeZetty, and ask him about how things are in South America for crypto for him. So ONeZetty, first of all, thanks very much for joining us, and welcome to State of the Project. So ONeZetty, could you tell us a little bit, first of all, let's start with this actually. Could you tell us a little bit about your role within PIVX? What sorts of things you do for PIVX?
Oh, where I should start. Well, I joined PIVX almost 2 years ago, I think, and I'm starting PIVX because I love about the idea of the privacy, and then I love about PIVX because the community. And I'm just a regular guy. I'm not sure if I have a role at all. If you can put a name on my role, but I consider myself like a Sherpa. I like the title of Sherpa, Spanish Sherpa, if you like to call it. When I'm starting PIVX, I noticed it, and there wasn't too much Spanish information. I mean, a lot of information was able to read, but not in Spanish. So I'm start like a campaign to translate all the great information to Spanish. Then I got a role in the translation, in the translation team with Hannah. And one day, Rubarbarian told me about the ambassador program, so I joined them. Then and start to watch all the snappy videos, and he becomes my model to follow.
Yeah.
And one day I saw him, and he told to me, in the private chat, and he say, "Hey, why you don't make a video?" And I say, why not? I'm a little bit shy. I'm a shy guy, and I love to speak in public, but honestly, I'm a shy guy. So the first video was very, very hard to me because, you're speaking to a camera. And then I'm starting to make it videos in Spanish. Honestly, I was just a copycat from the Snappy's video. I just copied him and did what he did in the videos, and then it becomes something. It start to grow up. I start to make a fan crew. And then more people just come to the Spanish community. In the beginning, we were maybe 3 persons only. Now we are more persons, we're more people, and more every day. So if you are able to put me a title, I would like to have the Spanish Sherpa for the PIVX community.
Awesome. Well, you did say that you became an ambassador with a Rubarbarian, and you are Spanish speaking, but whereabouts in the world are you actually based, and how is crypto viewed in your country, in your part of the world?
I'm living in Cancun, in Mexico, and in my city, because it's a tourist city, you can find some people interested in cryptos. Unfortunately, my country is a third world country, so you can find a lot of scams in here using the Bitcoin name. So that was my first approach in the crypto, trying to avoid people, being scammed from these guys. So we form a community here in Cancun, and we call ourselves the Bitcoiners. It's a combination of Bitcoins and Cancun,
Okay, yeah.
So that was our mission, our personal mission. We are a small group, like maybe 25, 30 persons. We make meetups. We giving people talks about crypto, about blockchain, of course. So in my country, sadly, they know more about Bitcoin because the scams. They know more about crypto because the scams, the MLM and the Ponzi schemes. But that start to change.
So you did say that within in your region, you did find that there were quite a few scams, and I would just like to point out that there are scams everywhere. So I don't think being a third world country makes that special. In the UK, we have plenty of scams to do with crypto, and it's the same as the US. Jeffrey, for you, do you have many scams to do with crypto in South Africa?
More than I can count. And unfortunately, majority of the people that I speak to about Bitcoin, they assume it's part of this scam. And the first person people always ask you is, how can I join? Where's the office? Because this is like the what actually happens here. People always advertise themselves as, I am Bitcoin, I am the miner, I'm selling mining. And it's played, but yeah, you are correct. It's all over the world. But as Zeddy said, with the third world countries, you find that people, obviously chasing a quick way to make money more frequently.
Yeah.
And because of that, it leaves room for gullibility and these scams to thrive. I mean, there's even coins, like we always complain about BitConnect. Well, BitConnect had like 20 different versions there in South Africa, and the owners made lots of money and everyone else lost. And unfortunately, these things, that's what people don't realize, is a lot of these scams, it's a joke. We say BitConnect that, BitConnect this, it's a joke. It actually tarnishes the name for many potential investors permanently. People, once you've been fooled, it's like, fool me once, fool me twice type of thing. The moment they've experienced it and they think, oh, this is Bitcoin, you won't find them in it again. And that's what I'm trying to change. And even Zeddy and even you with these videos, what we've noticed and the things we've done in our countries, it's changed people's perspective. It's people seeing the benefits and what truly crypto is. I know we mentioned Bitcoin a lot, but I mean, even with PIVX, it's obviously a different genre when it comes to Bitcoin. But I mean, the benefits it brings and what it's all about, it's really beneficial. And once we teach people and educate people, I do potentially see a cashless society preferring blockchain technology over standard cash.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. ONeZetty, do you agree that over the time that you've been involved in crypto, that people's knowledge and how much they know about things like Bitcoin has actually increased over a period of time?
This podcast has been brought to you by Rhubarb Media. Rhubarb Media are the branding specialists behind successful crypto projects such as PIVX, Vendible, and Libertaria. The Rhubarb style is both loved and respected the world over. So if you want your project to appeal to techies and everyday users alike, give Rhubarb Media a try. You cannot possibly be disappointed. Link is in the description.
Yeah, of course. When I start to make videos, people start to approach me to ask me about crypto, about Bitcoin, of course, about PIVX, and because that make me responsible about them, and start to read more about about crypto, and I start to involve more about it's a responsibility. If you make something to teach people, and people start to asking you about that, you feel like you should know more, and so I'm start to read more, to document myself about crypto, and now I become like an expert. I don't like to call myself an expert, but I think it's lame, but I think I am. And now our community is small, but has a lot of understanding about the crypto, about blockchain, about PIVX, of course, and a lot of other projects. And it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 20, it's one people more. That's one person at a time. That's I like to say, one person at a time. And actually, yesterday I was invited to giving a talk about Bitcoin, about blockchain, about crypto economy in a small group, like 10 persons. And they start to ask a lot of good question about the economy, about crypto, and they demand another talk about about PIVX next week. So now I have another talk next week about PIVX, actually only about PIVX. They like the philosophy and the things I said about PIVX. So one person at a time. That is my phrase. That's I like to say to myself.
So back to asking you about Mexico in particular, and crypto adoption within Mexico. Have you found personally that crypto is used mostly for buying items, or is it mostly used to send money across borders to other people in other nations, and more like what Jeffrey was saying?
Well, sadly, in Mexico, I say sadly because it's the way I feel. Sadly, in Mexico, the crypto is more used for trading.
Okay.
Most people are not interested in the technology of the opportunity of the technology it give you. They only interested in making some profits. It's sad, but it's true. And because of that, sometimes you present to some people a project like PIVX, and they say, no, I cannot make profit with that. So they not interested in other projects and other coins and other tokens if don't make some quick profit to them. The cryptocurrency in Mexico is growing. That's a good thing. But if you're interested in introducing a project, you must be listing in the most bigger exchange in Mexico. And that's very complicated because that exchange is very, very centralized. So,
okay. What is the biggest exchange in Mexico? What's it called?
Bitso. It's called Bitso. And it's very funny because the guy in the CEO of the Bitso is very fan of BAT, the basic, authentic, the BAT. And he is very, actually he was in investment of BAT when starting the ICO. So only very strange token. They list, of course, they have Bitcoin, they have Ethereum, they have Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. But starting from then, only tokens, and it's very, very funny. It's the biggest exchange, but it's not very open. It's not. And in Mexico, we have a very big problems with the money, laundry money.
Yep.
So everything about any kind of money, like crypto, of cash money, it needs to be needs to come with a special law. In Mexico, you cannot open an exchange without in the border of the law. You need to wait for that legislation. So in Mexico, we have a very strict, very hard law about the laundry money. So it's not easy to have an exchange. Actually, two exchanges, small exchange, but very nice. They just closed because they weren't able to how you say in English? I'm not sure the word in English. Sorry, but they closed because the vintage law, the Mexican vintage law. So
Yes.
We make very, very, very step up, but then we take 2 steps back. That's true. Yes, that's the way the crypto in Mexico. So we don't use. I think we have a very big opportunity, not only for trading because it's the biggest market in crypto in Mexico, but because the transfer of money. A lot of Mexicans work in the United States, so they send money to Mexico. And sometimes the exchange rate is very high, around 20 or 30% of the money. So if we find a way to easily transfer money from United States to Mexico in cryptocurrency, it's going to be a very, very, very big deal. It's going to be a very huge business in Mexico.
Yeah, well, 20 to 30% sounds extreme. That is insane.
Actually,
that is really insane.
the exchange of money from the send the money from the United States to Mexico is the second way of Mexico to get money. The first one is the oil, the petroleum, and then the money from the Mexicans outside of Mexico. So it's very high industry here.
Yeah. Right. I'm aware that we are running out of time. So I want to thank you guys again very much for giving up your time for this podcast. It's very much appreciated. I just wanted to get through just one last question for each of you, and it's with regards to people joining PIVX and wanting to be involved. So I'll start with you, ONeZetty. For anybody speaking Spanish, or people who just want to get involved who are kind of in your region, what would you say is the best way for people to get involved with PIVX?
Oh. I cannot say that in English.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do then. I'll ask Jeffrey first, and then I think by Jeffrey's answer, you probably will better understand the question. So, Jeffrey, let's go over to you. From an African, let's say, perspective, what would you say is the best way for people if they wanted to get involved? And from a support perspective, involved with PIVX, what would be the best ways to do that?
Sure. So PIVX, as it stands, is very community orientated. I'm sure both of you can agree with that, as well as pretty much anyone within the community. And how most people came a part of a team, or translators, ambassadors, support, all of that, is about merely whatever skill they have, or whatever they're willing to offer. Come join the Discord, come show us what you got, come offer support, come do some administration work, do some marketing, get merchants to accept PIVX. And that's slowly your gateway in. And because PIVX relies on a governance system, anyone has the power to submit a proposal, which can then be voted on and put you into a system of play. Or alternatively, a team could invite you to come join them. So yeah, my advice is for anyone who has something to add into the community, even if it's development. We're always looking to grow, and we're always looking for more people in every single sector of the entire economy of PIVX. So yeah, just come on board, show us what you got, show the community what you got, and just play the role that you have. And who knows, that may get you in where you start. I mean, that's how I started. I just started offering support. No one invited me. And then with my constant support, my constant learning, that landed me with a permanent position here within the PIVX system.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
ONeZetty, on the back of what Jeffrey just said, does it make my question make a little bit more sense? And what can people within the Spanish-speaking community do if they wanted to join PIVX? Would it be something similar?
Yeah, some people in Latin America doesn't have the good luck I had. They don't speak English. No, yes. It is true. I had the opportunity to study a little bit of English in the school, and in a job I had, they give me lessons, so my English get better and better with the time. And because this is a tourist area, I have the opportunity to practice my English every time it's very common if people speak to you in English, and then I can practice my English very often. But not all people in Latin America had this good luck. So sometimes when you try to learn something about PIVX, about any currency, cryptocurrency, all the information is in English. And yeah, we have tools to translate it now with this technology. But join to a community can be hard if you don't know the words. So I think this is the good thing about PIVX. You can have a way to get involved in the community. Some people can work with me in my proposal right now in the Spanish proposal. The PIVX Spanish proposal doesn't speak English at all. They don't speak English, and they work right now with the PIVX community in Spanish for the Spanish community. So I think that is amazing about PIVX. You can speak English, German, whatever, but you can only speak English and then be part of the community. You don't need it. I mean, everybody in the community is give you a warm welcome, and that is one of the things I love about PIVX. I've been in a lot of communities in cryptocurrency community, and always it's not easy to get involved because the language, because the knowledge, because you only have 2 days, in the community, and that doesn't happen in PIVX. That's the thing I love about PIVX. So if someone like a Jeffrey say, if you have something to give to the community, you are welcome to join us. It's very simple to make a proposal. It's very simple to show what you have, and it's very easy if you try to get a help from all of us. So if someone wants to join us, it's very simple. It's very easy, and everybody's welcome.
Awesome. Right at the top of your response there, you said a lot of people don't have the good luck to speak English as you did. I actually thought you'd said a lot of people in Latin America don't have your good looks, and it really did make me laugh. So yeah,
that's what I thought too.
so yeah, really good insight there. And I do find it very very important that people who don't speak English can be a part of this project and this DAO. I think that for me in particular is a very, very important thing. Part of the reason why I was so keen to interview both of you guys is that you are both trusted members of the community. You've both been around for a long time, and you're both not the typical North American that we have. Well, we kind of don't really have on this podcast. We've got such a blend within PIVX that I got the opportunity to get to interview people from all over the world. So it's really amazing to have your insight, and I hope that the listeners also appreciate having the insight of two men from completely separate corners of the world. So to wrap things up, I'd just like to say thank you first of all to Jeffrey for joining us from support. Thank you very much. And if there's anything else you'd like to say before we sign out, Jeffrey?
Just know it was an honor to be here, and I'm definitely looking forward to more interviews with you guys and just showing what we always do. But just a note that I just want to add on, because as Zeddy was mentioning, the language barrier, and that's a major thing when it comes to joining any community. And with PIVX, we're very welcome. We have Hannah leading that. So my main thing is, if you have a language and let's say we don't have it, reach out, even if you use a Google Translate, and that someone who is in these countries that speaks various languages. Come bring them along. Let them start these communities. Let them join Hannah. We're always building with new languages, and that's something great, because crypto is about uniting everyone on a means of a single currency, or let's just say a single technology that has no borders. And language shouldn't be a deterrence to that. So if you know anyone that speaks a language that we don't have, speak to us. Let's unroll that language. Let's find some people to do the translations, and let's start a community around that. But yeah, other than that, I'm really happy to be on here with you guys, and it's been good. If anyone wants to join our Discord and ask any questions, I'm sure you'll share the link, but it's pretty much discord.pivx.org. Cool. Thanks, guys.
And also for you, ONeZetty, thank you very much for joining us, giving up your afternoon. And is there anything else you wanted to say before we signed off?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you, Cryptosi, because you're a mentor to me, and I'm very happy to share what we are doing in the community, in the Spanish community, for the Spanish community. I'm sorry if I not make a lot of things for the English community, but you have a lot.
Yes. Well, do you know what?
Yes.
I do actually enjoy watching the Spanish videos in the hope that I can brush up a little bit on my Spanish. sometimes they have actually English subtitles, so it works for me. So thank you very much for all that work. It's amazing. And guys,
Hannah is amazing. Hannah is amazing translating my videos.
Yes, she is. Shout out to Hannah. She was actually on our last update, which was about 4 or 5 months ago now. But Hannah was on our last PIVX Press. I'm sorry, our last State of the Project. Hopefully, we'll be able to get her back again soon. But yeah, for all the listeners, I will put the link to the Discord in the description, as well as the link to the website. So if you do want to join the PIVX community, come in and ask around, ask questions, make sure you like and subscribe and all of that other good stuff. And yeah, that's it from us. And I hopefully will be back to speak to you again next month with our new guests on State of the Project. So thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
This show is brought to you by PIVX, private instant verified transactions. With its groundbreaking Zerocoin staking and masternodes, PIVX is the top privacy currency. Feel free to trade some on Binance or Bittrex. And for more information, go to www.pivx.org.